Today I'm going to teach you how to make kale chips. These are so super delicious, you're going to wonder why you haven't made them before. Now, I've got a little stash here which is running a bit low, so that's why I want to make some more, and they're so crunchy. Can you hear that? Now, you can flavour them with anything you like really. Olive oil, garlic and lemon, crushed garlic. But today I'm going to use olive oil, pink Himalayan salt and some yeast flakes. If you've never experienced yeast flakes before, they're a really tasty, sort of cheesy flavour, high in vitamin B. So let's begin. After you've washed the kale, then you're going to want to remove this stem here. That spine is too chewy, and the easiest way to break it into small pieces is just to remove it. Now notice this type of kale is called cabbage kale. It's the curly variety. And I just like it because it seems to dehydrate and get more air around it and becomes crisper. But the flat leaf kale works just as well. So once you've broken your kale into nice little bits, discard the stem. You don't need that, just throw that away. And we're going to season it. Ideally you'd have a bigger bowl than this, but this was a massive bunch of kale. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of olive oil. You don't need too much. The reason why I'm using the oil, it does give it a little bit of flavour, but it actually is giving the yeast flakes something to stick to. And I'm going to get in there and massage it with my hands. So if the idea of using your hands frightens you, don't be alarmed. Alright, so after I've added my flavouring to the kale, I'm just going to put it on the tray here. So spread it out and you can adjust. If you want a lot of seasoning on there, then you put it on. If you don't, then just put less. So spreading it out, and remember it's going to go into the oven and dry. I find when I use this curly kale, it doesn't need turning. What a great way to make use of kale. So even those people in your house that are maybe anti-kale, little kids, you give them some of these and it's almost as good as a potato chip. I've been munching on them while watching movies. All right. Now all that's left to do, apart from washing my hands, is put these in the oven. I've only made 3 trays because I've only got 3 trays in my oven, but sometimes I do make a 4th tray and just stick it on the bottom shelf. So lowest setting, 47 degrees Celsius, and they don't actually take that long, probably like an hour and they'll be done, but I'll check back in about half an hour, see how they go. Okay, these have just come out of the oven. See how nice and crispy they are? Now I did forget to mention one thing. Because you're using the oven as a dehydrator, it's a good idea to put a wooden spoon in the door to help allow the moisture to escape. So a dehydrator is normally open both ends so that the moisture that's evaporating from the kale has a chance to escape. If you don't do this, you're going to get a lot of condensation building up in the door and they'll just take longer to dehydrate. But that's it. Now I'm just going to store them in a container, airtight container. Let me just say, I'm addicted to these kale chips. I've just made up a really big batch here. I've got more behind me there I'm going to dehydrate. I just love these. They're just so crispy, crunchy, full of flavour, nutritious. Eating greens, but it feels like snacking on chips. So good. Go and make some.